What? Oh, shit! We just watched Halloween Kills just for all of you. It's like 2 in the morning.
Past it.
Steven, a.k.a. Bojangles, here with Anna, the Eater of Worlds. Yeah. Oh, she's tired. Okay, so, you want to run them down a sum up of the plot?
Let's do it.
Yeah!
So, basically, it's a vengeful mob movie.
Yeah!
Yeah,
pretty much.
Pretty much the entire plot.
Pretty much. So it picks up, Halloween Kills picks up right after Halloween 2018 ends. Mm-hmm. Lori and her fam are in the back of the truck screaming while firefighters rush to the house to put out the blazing inferno that was once Lori's home. And, Michael Myers, as we all know, never dies, so he gets out of there, whoops some serious butt. Serious butt. And then pretty much the rest of the movie takes place with Lori in the
hospital.
Yeah, Lori in the hospital, and Michael Myers is going on a Haddonfield rampage, or a Haddonfield hoedown, as we like to call it. Whoop, 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 whoop. Now that is our spoiler-free version, but if y'all stick around, we are going to break this review up into 2 different parts. We are going to do a spoiler-laden version here in just a few minutes. But first off, let's go ahead and go over the things we liked about the movie.
Fun kills
all over the place.
There were some really good ones.
Yeah, Michael Myers was wreaking havoc. You know, some kills were like, they were bad in the sense of like who they're killing, why these characters exist in the first place, whatever. But the kills themselves, some of them were pretty fun. I
mean, we even had some eye gouging.
Oh,
I love that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's the Italian thing, right?
No, it is. It's
As
the Italian
Guido,
in you. Yep.
I have to love eye gouges because we're so good at them.
Yeah, so some pretty cool kill scenes.
Yeah.
All right, and some of the side characters were fun.
Oh, great side characters, right? We really loved. There's an older couple. Mm-hmm. We loved them.
Yeah, they were they were fun.
Yeah.
And then there's another fun couple. Later on in the movie.
Also really, really fun. It's like wow, either of these couples would be cool to hang out with. They're great.
So a couple of couples in the movie. Really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be cool to hang out with. Cool to play like Yahtzee with.
Right. Game night.
Game night. Woo!
Yeah.
Cinematography was pretty good. As was like the lighting and the set design. Mm-hmm. Really like that. There were some really cool artsy shots in there that I really dug.
Yeah, it's a nice looking film.
Mm-hmm. Okay, music. Once again,
John Carpenter.
Yep. He's behind the keyboards.
Yeah.
So, him and his son and some other dude that nobody knows his name because...
Daniel Davies?
Man, what? How the hell do you remember that?
For the win.
Yeah, I think it was Daniel Davies, but I mean, when you're like sandwiched between 2 carpenters, who the hell's going to remember Daniel Davies?
True.
Well, except for you. But the soundtrack was really good, which is to be expected when Big JC is at the helm.
Yeah. I mean, it was no In the Mouth of Madness soundtrack.
Whoa.
But it was really good.
It was. Now, we're going to talk about the bad.
The bad.
Uh-oh.
A non-spoiler version of
the bad. Okay, so I think the story being the main thing that was bad with this film.
Yeah, it left a lot to be desired. I think the story kind of lacked.
Yes, for sure.
So if you're looking for a plot-heavy horror film, you're not going to get it. But maybe the kills will make up for that for you. So.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this one is it's up there with Rob Zombie, I think, as far as kills go.
Yeah. I think there's other things about Rob Zombie's film that make his movies brutal, not just the kill scenes.
Agreed.
Enough. And that stuff is lacking, but
the kills themselves and the body count.
Brutal, gory, lots and lots of dead bodies. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Our main characters.
Our main characters is a bad thing. Notice in our good points we listed side characters as good. Main characters make it in the bad list.
Yeah.
No presents for Christmas for them.
No. You're not really sure what drives them. I guess vengeance, but
Yeah, but
a lot of it doesn't make sense. They spend a lot of time blaming themselves for what's happening in ways that don't really make sense. Yeah, and they introduce, we won't spoil, but they do introduce some new main characters who spend a lot of time on screen, and again, you kind of wonder, like, what their motivation is. Why is Michael Myers their entire universe, you know? So,
yeah, exactly.
Dialogue, it kind of goes right in with the characters. A lot of the dialogue of the main characters was
really heavy-handed.
and overwrought, right? So it's not just that the words were heavy-handed, but
Yeah.
the delivery was tended, especially if two main characters were speaking to each other. Then the dialogue got really overwrought. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There is a lot of flashbacks. I mean, this is a really flashback-heavy, flashback-driven film in some ways. And it's like you said, apparently we're watching the extended version of the original Halloween that we never got.
Yeah.
Because the flashbacks do take place the same night Laurie was attacked and Michael Myers was shot and fell off of the balcony.
Yeah, in 1978. So some of the flashbacks are original footage from the first movie, and some of the flashbacks are new film. And that's really the majority of them, actually. Like, the longer flashback scenes are actually new footage. And, yeah, so it's things that you didn't know happened, apparently.
Yeah, and it's really weird because there was this one scene where they had like 3 flashbacks in a row from different characters' perspectives. And it's like 2 flashbacks from the original film or whatnot, and then all of a sudden a flashback from the new film so they could incorporate another character.
Right.
And it was really jarring, just the quality of film. It's like, dude, come on.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's kind of, I wanted to be a little forgiving on that, just thinking, well, maybe they didn't want to insult the viewer's intelligence and saying, like, yeah, we didn't age what is obviously new footage, but that does mean that it looks jarring.
Yeah, it does take you out of the moment, for sure.
Yeah,
it's like, wait a minute,
it's
dude.
old footage, obviously new footage.
Yeah, they shoehorn the shit out of this in there, you know?
Yeah. And it does happen, boom, 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 boom. So it's very obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Another problem with the flashbacks was that they included not only Dr. Loomis's voice, which is jarring and off-put because it's clearly not Donald Pleasance, and you can tell by the voice alone, but then they decide to include an actor who looks like Donald Pleasance, but is clearly not. It's like the Great Value version of Dr. Loomis, you know what I'm saying? So it's really jarring and takes you out of the film once again. Yeah.
You almost wish they had just reshot all of the scenes. With a new cast. And just, just let the audience, you all know what's happening, this is what's happening. But instead, they spliced together original footage and new footage. And I think that's what makes those scenes as jarring as they are. Because there's real Donald Pleasance, and then here's fake Donald Pleasance.
Oof. A lot of the film takes place
in the
hospital, just like the original sequel to Halloween, just without the suspense or the added benefit of being an actual good movie.
I guess that kind of wraps us up for before spoilers. So do you want to give like a rating or a recommendation?
I would say it's worth a watch. Just because we're Halloween fans. I mean, most of the horrorverse out there is Halloween fans. And you have to say you've seen it. I mean, that's the thing among horror fans. You got to be able to say you've at least seen it, but I wouldn't. I might watch it again at some time just because it's a Halloween film, but that's it. Like, I wouldn't watch it again out of, pure joy.
Where would you put it in the list of your favorite Halloween films?
Nowhere near,
Nowhere near the top?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Nowhere near that. It is really generic.
Yeah.
I think. And they did not spend a lot of time on story.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of carnage, but really no payoff and no story.
Yeah. Yeah, so I kind of feel the same way. You'll have a lot of fun with the kill count and hanging out with your boy Michael.
But
that's really kind of it. It doesn't really bring anything new to the table. I didn't think.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It does a lot of things, well, which, as did Halloween 2018, this one does a lot of stuff that we've seen before.
In the other Halloween films.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
So-
no originality, not a good story.
But if you sit back, relax, eat some candy,
Yeah.
you could probably still have a good time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go through it. All right, now we're moving on to the spoilers section, and we're going to give it to you hardcore because we're going to start off with the kills. So if you don't want anything spoiled, now is your chance to turn this video off. But if you're hardcore, you'll stick around. Kills.
Ha! Speaking of hardcore, the first scene you see Michael, he takes out an entire fire department. Like,
Yeah. Intense.
Armed individuals, right? They all have axes, a
Yeah.
fire hose. One even has a saw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, Myers just comes right out of the basement where he's been hiding in, like, a weapons closet.
Kills them all.
Yeah. Kills them all. Just cleans them out. And it is kind of crazy because they're, the fire department are, like, teammates.
Right. And none of them try to help each other. They all take him on one at a time. So they all die one at a time.
Yeah, it's like watching one of those, like, 80s action films where Jean-Claude Van Damme
Yeah.
just kicks the shit out of everybody, but one at a time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but with
It's
Michael
just like
Myers and really gory and some great kills in that scene.
Yeah.
And we even get an eye gouge at one point.
Oh, we almost get two because you do get like a knife through the eyeball.
Ooh.
Sort of an eye gouge, right?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
right the knife right through the eyeball.
I feel like Lucio Fulci would
Yeah,
be proud.
Yeah, and then we get another one, so like a double-handed thumbs to the eyeballs. You even get to see it squitch out. Like it's just like squitch.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, it was.
It was a good moment. For
Oh,
me.
yeah.
I got one.
Okay, give me one.
I liked Cameron. Cameron dies at the end, and Michael like
Yeah. Oh,
beats
yeah.
the crap out of this poor kid. He's bashing his head back and forth and up and down, and like, I have to admit, I was really hoping that head would just pop right off.
Yeah.
Yes, my Italian is showing again. Like, that's what I wanted, was his head to pop off and land at Allison's feet.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
Yeah,
But
that's what
it
I was hoping for.
It was still a good kill.
Yeah, like I was hoping because it happens on a staircase.
Uh-huh.
And I was hoping, like, because his head is hanging out through the banister.
Yeah.
Like, in the path where Myers is going to walk by. And I was hoping, like, as he walks by, he'd just casually kick his head off.
Yeah.
Like, just front kick that shit right towards Allison.
I just wanted a plop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Oh, okay. One of my favorites is when there's this woman going up to an SUV where Myers has already, like, killed everyone inside, and she's shooting at him, and as she gets, like, she makes that mistake a lot of characters do in horror movies. When they shoot at somebody, they walk towards them the whole time, getting closer. She gets close enough to where Myers kicks the SUV door open, it hits the tip of the gun, swings around, and she shoots herself.
Happens very quickly and is super effective. It was a cool moment.
Yeah. So kills were definitely fun, and they were aplenty.
Yeah. The writing team is a trio of writers again. Definitely had fun sitting around coming up with kills.
Dude, you know what would be cool?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah.
And Michael had a lot of fun posing and dressing his kills this time.
Yeah.
In the park, he had a great nod to Halloween 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those little mean-ass kids.
Well, he kills... he steals masks from kids and then, like, kills adults and puts the masks on their heads, and the masks are...
Silver Shamrock masks.
The Silver Shamrock's masks from
Oh, yeah. Halloween 3.
So.
Yeah, as far as good things go, like we said before we started doing our spoilers, was the side characters were really cool. You know, in the beginning, you have an old couple. They're playing around with a drone of all things.
Yeah.
And talking
She's
smack.
flying a drone around her house, just having a great time. Her husband's pouring some wine. They're going to watch a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Then we have Big John and Little John.
Loved them.
Yeah, another couple. And they were just funny. They scare the crap out of the little hellion-ass kids that come trick-or-treating at their house.
Yeah.
One of them just wants to get high and dance with the other one.
And the other one has created like a beautiful like snack tray for movie watching. Like they're just great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the side characters were fun. Definitely, I like the side characters better than the main characters.
For sure.
So.
For sure.
Now, unfortunately, it's time to get into the bad.
And leads us right into our main characters.
Yes.
So, obviously, you had the main characters from the last film because, you know, Laurie, her daughter, and her granddaughter are all still alive.
Yeah.
The introduction of new main characters. Oh, wait. Before we introduce new main characters, one of the main characters from the first movie, Officer Hawkins, played by Will Patton, who died in the first movie, isn't dead.
Yeah, so they undo things from the first movie that I just did not enjoy. Like, I hate...
You hate that.
I hate that when writers do something and then immediately take it back.
Well, do something that has actual emotional impact.
Yes, because it's just like how sometimes they'll use a dream sequence to screw the audience over because anything can obviously happen in a dream with no consequences, and then they take it right back. So it seems sort of like that, but I mean, this dude got it in the neck in Halloween 2018, like he was done.
Yeah.
And then he got ran over, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he got ran over, and then he's miraculously a survivor of that film.
Yeah. At the very beginning of the film, Cameron finds him. And...
Speaking of which, Cameron, the boyfriend...
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's forgiven. So that whole plot of, you know, he's a cheating scum or whatever...
Right.
It's gone.
Gone.
It's completely. I mean,
she lost her father, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean that there's really not even a discussion of.
Well, he goes in with the "I'm so sorry," and she's like,
"But I'm
never mind."
Yeah, I'm saying realistically, there's no discussion.
No real conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so they are back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have the introduction of new main characters.
We do.
And it's a group of friends, apparently they hang out with each other a lot, that are minor characters from the original franchise.
Yeah, it's Halloween alumni.
Yeah.
So we have Lonnie, which...
Who's barely...
he's barely. I mean, like you were even asking me, like, who the hell is Lonnie through the whole?
I didn't even know. I was like, who was Lonnie?
And you kept forgetting his name, and no wonder.
Yeah.
You know, it's in case you all don't remember, Lonnie was the kid who was like going to sneak up and go into the Myers house after being like coaxed by his friends, and Dr. Loomis scares him.
Right. That's Lonnie.
Lonnie, get your ass away from there.
Yeah.
Like, that's that whole. I mean, and that's it. But he is a role in this film.
He's Cameron's father.
Yes.
And he hangs out with the other Halloween alum.
Yes.
He hangs out with Tommy.
Tommy Doyle is back.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay Wallace is back. And Nurse Marion Crane is back.
And apparently they, spend Halloween together as
every year.
A Michael Myers Survivors Club.
Yeah, so, I mean, it leaves you wondering, like, why the hell did these people, like, all of them stuck around after this tragedy?
Well, especially, it's like the main driver in their lives is the experience they had with Michael Myers.
Yeah.
So it left them all really shallow characters.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's it. That was the only thing that defined them as characters, was that they survived Michael Myers. That's it.
Yeah, that's their whole identity.
Who we follow for most of the film.
Yeah,
they are the ringleaders of the vengeful mob.
The
posse who is going to take Michael out
once and for all.
Yeah. What this group of main characters really made us feel was that Haddonfield must be a really lovely town to live in, because apparently no other murders have happened in the last 40 years. Like, everyone's life is defined by the Michael Myers massacre.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, hell, nobody in the film owned a gun. except for Lonnie.
Yeah.
Like every house he broke into, I mean, it was like
Lori and Lonnie. They're the only ones who had guns.
Yeah. In rural Illinois.
In rural Illinois. I've lived in rural Illinois.
That's not factual.
They hunt too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as our other characters, we really don't get much time with them.
No.
You know, as far as main characters from the Halloween 2018 film, like Lori's in the hospital, as I mentioned.
The whole movie.
The entire movie, so you don't get a lot with her.
Her daughter Karen also spends the entire movie in the hospital.
With her.
Yeah.
Allison goes out with the mob at one point, but...
Right. Allison and Cameron take off with Lonnie.
Mm-hmm.
To go find Michael.
Because they bring back some of this Halloween alumni, and you don't get much time with them. Old Nurse Marion there didn't last very long at all. In a recreation of the scene from the original Halloween with Myers crawling around on top of the vehicle. We'll get into that in a little bit. Lindsay Wallace gets injured early on and carted off.
Right. She gets taken to the hospital and you never see her again.
Yeah, she gone.
So you do get a lot of time with both Lonnie and Tommy.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
So our characters, not the best.
No.
I will say there was some stuff that was really poorly shot in the film, and I think this is where we can come back to the car SUV scene I was talking about with Marion.
Yeah.
Like, Lindsay Wallace runs off to a playground, and, you know, she's with her own little crew of vigilante justicers. You know,
she sees children playing in the park and runs she gets out of the car with all her buddies and runs towards them to yell at them to go home. Basically. Yeah.
And at that point in time, Michael decides to attack the SUV.
Right.
And like we said, he climbs up on the top of the vehicle, recreates the scene with Marion. And he actually grabs a hold of her, and while he has a hold of her, one of the passengers escapes through the back window. And keep in mind, this passenger has a gun.
Yeah, she does.
And at this point, I thought, you know, someone is on top of the vehicle. They're occupied by grabbing someone else's hair. They're holding on. They clearly are facing the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to get out and shoot him in the back.
She had plenty of time, plenty of opportunity, but she disappears.
She literally falls out of the vehicle and then disappears.
Yeah, the shot shows her land right next to the car. She jumps out of the car, lands on the ground right next to it.
And that's the last you see of her for a little while, like during this hectic moment, leaving her husband behind.
Right, so Michael kills Marion, and then he has the time to kill the woman who jumped out to kill her husband.
Yes.
And then suddenly she's back, but they cut to the exterior of the car, and Michael has now jumped off of the car and landed right where she landed, but she's now gone.
Yeah.
She's got to be, 30 yards?
Yeah, she's
gone.
gone.
It's like she took off down the road, and now she's headed back. So you have to watch her walk this long distance back to the car shooting. And it's like, where
the fuck did you go?
Where did you go? You let Marion die, you let your husband die when you totally could have... Yeah, it was bizarre. It was just...
there's a lot of things in there that was just poorly shot, poorly edited. Also, while they're in the SUV, the husband at one point goes up into the driver's seat, and you think he's going to get in the driver's seat and drive away, and then all of a sudden he's in the back seat again. He got scared or something like that, but it never goes back to that. I mean, it's really awkwardly done.
Yeah.
And there's another problem with that scene, because when Lindsay Wallace returns to the vehicle, she encounters Myers, and they get into a scuffle, and she pulls his mask up.
Right.
And Myers throws her to the ground, and, you know, the immediate cut, Myers looks over at her, and his mask is down. I mean, it's perfect.
But then cut back a second later, and he has to straighten his mask out.
Yeah, so it's a really poorly shot and edited scene altogether. And there was, you know, that's just a good example. There are others throughout the film that feel that way for sure.
Yeah.
But that one, it was just a lot of clusterfuckery all in one spot, really.
Yeah. Which was too bad, because it's kind of an important... They took out 4 characters in that scene.
Oh, it was brutal.
Yeah. So 4 characters that you thought were going to accomplish something as far as the story goes.
Yeah.
And, they all die in one scene, and it's cut together in such a way that you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
None of them should have died, or at least not as many of them. So
yeah,
it's a rough scene.
Yeah.
So another issue with the editing is in the sequence where Allison leaves the hospital. If you'll recall, at the end of Halloween 2018, Allison is in the back of the truck with her mother and grandmother, and she's clutching the bloody knife. Mm-hmm. In this film, she still has the bloody knife in the hospital, and when she leaves, she wraps it up in her grandmother's t-shirt and tucks it into the bed beside her, saying, this is for you in case Michael comes back. Mm-hmm. And then, when Laurie wakes up, the knife is gone.
Yeah.
The t-shirt wrapped around the bloody knife is now on a chair.
Across the room. And Karen picks it up and throws it in, like, a biohazard bin. Yeah, it's like a biohazard bin. And that's annoying enough. But then, half an hour later in the film, Laurie decides to arm up, and she goes directly for the knife in the biohazard bin. And it's like, how'd she know it was there? Like, why even go through all the trouble of picking it up and throwing it away? Like, why not just leave Laurie with the knife? The whole thing was just kind of a mess. It was weird.
Yeah,
it was, definitely sloppy-ass writing, editing, something.
Yeah.
Something went wrong in a major way right there.
Yeah, because it wasn't, a little cheesy, but not bad that Allison left her the knife. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of spoil the whole thing by having it be the magically disappearing and reappearing knife.
Yeah.
Oops.
And this film reminded me of some other Halloween films, which is nothing crazy because definitely Halloween 2018 was like a jerk-off fest. Like, all they did was just fondle, they fondled the Halloween fandom to death. It's like it didn't have its own identity. And this film, the way it starts off is almost like an extended version of the ending of Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah, which is an interesting choice.
You get the vigilante mob, which reminds me of Halloween 4.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, we need some originality there. If you're going to do this and start erasing sequels, you can't steal their fucking plot points.
Yeah. Or you can. Apparently.
Yeah. Apparently.
Now we'd like to hit some of our favorite bad dialogue.
Yeah, the dialogue in this one is just heavy-handed and cringy, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's some stuff... And I'm going to save one for the last because, oh my god, it takes the cake by a large margin. So what was your favorite piece of bad dialogue?
Oh my god. If we call one more slasher an apex predator, I'm gonna die.
Yeah. Well, I can top that.
Okay.
I can top the shit out of that, as a matter of fact, because you know what? It is when Sheriff Brackett shows up at the end. The vigilante mob has... Oh, God. It's happening again, babe.
Oh. Get it out. Get it out.
I need some of that cognitive behavioral therapy Laurie needed in 2018, damn it.
Yeah.
When the vigilante mob has cornered Michael Myers, and they're going to serve him up an old school slobber knocker.
Deep breath. Let it out.
Sheriff Lee Brackett shows up, and this line is delivered so awkwardly with the max amount of cringe. It made my balls ascend into my seat. He just looks at Michael and says, "It's Halloween. Everyone's entitled to one good scare." Oh, God, but let's talk about the end before we go.
This is the end.
Oh, it is.
Except that it's not.
No,
that's the deal with the end.
And we knew that it wasn't going to be because they've already announced, like after Halloween 2018, they already announced 2 sequels, Halloween Kills, Halloween ends, and Jason Blum's already got his hand in the cookie jar. He wants to do a fucking Season of the Witch or something, apparently.
Oh, yeah, a direct sequel to Season of the Witch.
But,
I hope Tom Atkins beats his ass. I mean...
Yeah, I can't wait to see CGI Tom Atkins.
Oh, no, don't say it.
But yeah, the end, I mean, Michael Myers rolls through this vigilante justicer's mob as well, just like he did the firefighters at the beginning of the film.
After taking a knife to the spinal cord.
Mm-hmm.
He stands up and, just one by one picks off the vigilante group, saving Tommy for last. So long, Anthony Michael Hall. It was fun while it lasted.
Goodbye, buddy. Michael's tougher than a $2 steak.
Yuck, yuck.
Ain't that badass?
Yeah. Oh, God.
But, yes, it ends with
Karen.
Karen gets wiped out, the end.
Yeah, she's standing at Michael Myers' sister's window looking out.
Yeah, because
trying
it turns
to get
out,
the Michael Myers vibe on. I don't know what her deal is.
Because it turns out at some point during the movie, they made the assessment. They came to the conclusion that Myers isn't actually after Laurie Strode.
He just wants to go home.
Yeah. And stare out at Haddonfield.
That's all he wants.
Because apparently that's all he used to do as a child before he killed his sister.
So he's gonna kill at every house along the way, but really all he wants to do is go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just let him go home.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes could have told him that shit. Halloween Resurrection, baby. Oh,
That's
damn.
true.
I hope they let him
true.
be a cameo. Fuck it.
Oh,
Like they're digging people out of the goddamn Oscar the Grouch lair. Like, may as well get Busta.
It'd be great.
Just let him kung fu the shit out of Michael Myers again. But, well, I've lost my partner.
Yeah.
Well, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm done with this review.
Let's go to bed, baby.
Yeah. Jason Blum. You ruin everything, you son of a bitch.
This is what you've done to him. You see what you've done to him? You monster! Jason Blum is an apex predator.
Afraid the string was too much to bear. Halloween Kills.
Killed me.
Killed it with fire.
Nuked it from orbit.
Fuck. I'm out of here.
Bye.